Danny, tell us about how Cygnus Imperium finished up on Kickstarter.
Cygnus Imperium finished on Kickstarter with 2,700 and some tens of additional Canadian dollars.
That is amazing.
Which is rather more than its goal, and I'm quite happy with that.
Yes.
So I just sent out the surveys. I've packaged up the digital packages, and I've sent my orders to the printer. Even before getting the money. That's how confident I am in my amazing group of backers.
There you go.
And I'm really looking forward. I've also sent the inks for issue 2 to Alan, the colorist. So that'll be coming out on Kickstarter in a few months.
Okay. John, how's your campaign doing?
I'll say it has slowed now that the Keith Garvey's...
I was thinking now that, like, because you were telling me that people are still buying the main driver is the Keith Garvey metal cover. Like, I feel like your campaign should really be directing people to get that. Make it easy, make it prominent. Just my feedback in general, I feel like you have too many add-ons. I went and actually I added on an RB White cover, but I had to sit there and search for like 3 or 4 minutes between metal trading cards and prints, and like you just took your entire back catalog and it's all right there, and
it is a little overwhelming.
Yeah,
I agree. That is definitely a issue that will be addressed in future campaigns.
Okay.
And I agree. That was not the most efficient way to handle that. So, and some things didn't work. Like, for whatever reason, 11x17 metal prints don't seem to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to probably stop off.
Yeah, they don't do much.
Actually, that leads me to wonder, John and/or Larry, I think you guys backed me. How was my add-on experience? It was my first time trying that out on Kickstarter.
I backed digital, so I have no idea.
I think there's only a couple of digital add-on options.
I don't think I did it. I did your digital deluxe, so I kind of just...
There you go. I sold a few copies of my last project through the add-ons, which I'm kind of happy about, so I guess some people missed it the last time and got a chance to pick it up now.
Awesome.
And I'm quite, I'm looking forward to seeing the experiment of seeing how issue 1 does as an add-on to issue 2.
I mean, in general, you sell a fair amount.
I would expect so, yeah. That's the way you bring in new readers. I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes.
Awesome.
Sorry for interrupting there, John. I know it's your time.
No, it's all right. I still have a little over a week, so I've got some things that I'm going to be working on the back burner.
Okay.
Which I'll be announcing in a day or two.
I still want to say you look. If you would have done, I had an idea. I think it was a good idea. You didn't do the idea, I think, but a week ago,
yes.
I was like, hey, you should ask Keith Garvey if how much it is to do the naughty version and just run with that. Think of how much. Think of the cash. Think of the cold hard cash you can collect on Miss Temperance's heaving chest mounds. Just, anyway.
You made it weird, Preston.
You
can just say tits.
I'm trying to be artistic as a writer. I'm using different word choices.
The phrase is normally used to describe that is purple prose, which one generally edits away from.
I don't mind being purple about my 2 favorite things in life.
Right.
All right, let's see. We got Black Knight and we got Primal Chaos. Which one should we start with?
We've also got Cygnus Imperium.
Wait, hold on.
4 that we didn't wrap last week.
Yeah, we left someone out last week.
Yeah, we should start with Danny's for sure.
Danny, okay. Yeah. Cygnus Imperium. Let's read Cygnus Imperium.
Yeah, I need Mobley here for it to read mine.
Okay. If he shows tonight.
I mean, need or want?
There we go.
I guess want Mobley.
And just for the record, we now have you on a recording saying that you want Moldy.
There we go.
So,
Well, yeah. All right, so this is Cygnus Imperium issue 4. The Paradox
Okay.
Assault.
So, we
Page
have
9.
read the rest of this on stream before. In the beginning, we passed some time from issue 3 to where we end up by showing a sequence of really small, cool little fighting scenes. So there's a ton of action. Slow it down a little bit, talk about some politics, and now our gang is on spy mission
Hot
to
damn.
see what's going on with this shipyard in the middle of nowhere where the evil empire might be upgrading their fleet. And there's something wrong with the communications. The engineer is going outside to go mess with the stuff. So, who narrated last time? I think it was Larry or John.
Wasn't me.
All right. Well, let's have John narrate.
Okay.
And Preston, you can be Thorn.
Hot damn.
Larry, you should be Calamity.
Sure.
Knight, you be Snitch for now, I guess. And someone else should probably take over RX. So let's have John do that. And that's like everybody pretty much. So, yeah.
I'm Thorn. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Sure.
You're having the
I will
African American be a snitch.
She's an evil pirate
There you
state
go.
captain.
There we go. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to be staring at my copy to take notes.
All right,
All
narrator.
right. Page 18, panel 1, overhead view of the bridge. Eric slides into Calamity's seat. Snitch is still front and centre by the display, locked in by seatbelts.
Arik, take over for Calamity and watch those comms channels.
If you need someone to manage your weapons, I could.
Who's Arik?
I'll be alright.
Okay.
Don't even.
Panel 2, exterior Paradox Spacewalk. Calamity, wearing his spacesuit, is tethered out the back.
Yep.
Paradox,
He's tethered.
Paradox, struggling to walk his way to the communications array on the head with his magnetic boots. The Grinner ships clamped on the asteroid looms large.
Calamity, how's it going?
I'm spacewalking up the back of a ship that's clamped to a rock that's hurtling towards a shipyard at a relative velocity of 80,000 meters per second. How do you think it's going?
Keep going.
Oh, damn it, Thorn. I signed up to be a freedom fighter, not a mass driver.
Panel 3, interior Paradox Bridge. It's starting to get tense. Eric, staring intently at the screen, reports to Thorn, worried.
Alright.
Estimated time to flyby is 90 minutes. That repeating signal. It's blue shifting. We're heading towards it.
I love the science.
Yeah.
I love the science.
Page 19, panel 1, exterior Paradox Spacewalk. In profile, Calamity wields a wrench in his right hand, while his left hand opens an instrument panel on the back of a radio array on the Paradox's head. In the background, we see one of the Paradox's hands clamped tightly to the side of the asteroid.
Thorn, the radio reads fine. That signal is not a bug. Repeat, that signal is not a bug.
Panel
Ow.
2, interior Paradox Bridge. Eric and Thorn turn from their consoles to stare at the back of Snitch's head as if they could shoot lasers out of their eyes. Snitch's eyes widen with drawling horror because he's going to get lasered.
So if that signal is real...
Snitch, what have you done?
It's a trap. I didn't know.
Panel 3, exterior Paradox spacewalk. Wide Calamity spacewalks down the Paradox's back towards the airlock as an asteroid with the ships on it hurls towards its target. In the background, some small pieces of asteroid under Paradox's hand loosen and fly away into the void.
Calamity, that's a real signal, and we're really blue shifting it. We need you back inside.
Sir, I can only go as fast as these. I can only go so fast in these conditions.
Panels 4, 5, 6, and 7. Series of panels in a
Ooh.
single row. Exterior Paradox spacewalk. This action all happens while Calamity is spacewalking towards the airlock. Some of the rocks under Paradox's hand crack and escapes his grip. A reflection of the rock the size of a baseball is visible on the visor of Calamity's helmet.
Sir, debris, I can't.
The rock smashes his
Hey.
visor. He dies.
Yeah.
Or she dies.
A rock hits Calamity with enough force to throw him off the back of Paradox and hurling
Uh-oh.
into the void. Only his tether keeps him attached to the ship. Barely.
Thwack.
Thwack.
Usually you say the line goes taunt. Panel 1, exterior the void. Calamity struggles to pull himself back into the Paradox along with his tether.
Calamity, still with us? Calamity!
It is a Calamity.
It
Panel
is.
2, interior Paradox bridge. View looking over Calamity's console. Eric stares at the screen in shock. Behind her right shoulder, Thorn in the captain's chair reacts in horror.
I just wish to point out, since this has always given me kind of Star Trek vibes, doing away with the transporter gives more opportunities for drama. So,
Yes.
hooray. Yeah.
This is definitely.
No, right,
not
because
a
you can't just beam
transporter.
them right into the
Yeah, you
ship.
can just beam them on the ship, right.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you know, in the original series, the transporter has a target on them, so if they're moving, you can't transport them.
It's true.
That's true.
Well, I also think that it worked better when you're doing a 1970s TV show with limited special effects.
Well, yeah, and
Just-
when,
Yeah,
when they
ship.
when they originally did it in the 60s, the reason they had the transporter was so they could go set to set without having to show a shuttle.
I know they
Yeah.
wouldn't even have to build
Yeah.
models.
Yeah, yeah.
Right. Yeah, it was just easier that way.
Right.
Makes sense.
Arik.
Sir, the signal. It's a jammer field?
So what in the void are we flying towards?
Panel 3! Exterior of the void. Point of sail from behind the real shipyard. It's a single massive starbase. That's
Uh-oh.
no moon. Capable of building, repairing 20 capital ships at once.
Oh, no, that's not
Emitting
good.
a previously visible smaller shipyard and moon base as holograms.
Uh-oh.
The very large asteroid hiding our heroes is headed straight towards the centre of the structure.
It's a trap.
It's a trap!
Getting an anomaly on the scanners, sir. We need Starbase
Alor.
and Commander.
Yes, we need a
Interiors.
Starbase technician. We need a Starbase commander now, so let's have that be Knight.
Okay.
To be the commander.
All right.
I'll be the commander? Okay.
Yeah.
Ah.
Interior Shipyard Command Centre. VY.
Pronounce center.
I
was waiting for
to
him.
me, but
It lasted quite a while before I got
Not
that.
in American. In
Yeah.
American, it's century.
that's
I'm
right.
sorry, I write in English, not American.
There you go.
Notice I did say that's not American.
That's all right.
I went- okay. V wide in the command and control centre of the shipyard. Easily 50 people coming in and out at any moment. The base commander leans over the technician to look over his shoulder at his monitor. The commander is a high-ranking elderly general in his argent protector uniform. Protector force? He should be wearing an ornate decorated dress uniform. That's way too complicated.
The commander,
That-
a high-ranking elderly general in Argent's protector force, wears an ornate
Uniform?
decorated dress uniform. That's
That's
not
fair.
bad.
Or
Yeah.
well, again, you're saying his uniform, elderly general, in an ornate Argent Protector's Force uniform.
Yes.
What?
Because in implies he's wearing it. So elderly general in implies he's wearing clothing.
Might
So
just be a comet, sir, but its vector isn't popping up the survey data. Recommended temporary evacuation.
Must be a glitch in the sensors, laddie. We only have 2 more
Star
weeks
Trek 5.
to retrofit these destroyers for planetary assault. Do you want to be court-martialed for delaying the invasion of Tezos?
No, sir. Sorry, sir.
Carry on, laddie.
I mean, this is basically what if Star Trek characters ended up in a Star War.
Right.
Hmm.
Page
Didn't they already
21.
do that?
Exterior, the void. Calamity is still pulling himself along the tether, but his right hand has come loose, and he's flung back from the paradox. Luckily, he's been wrapping the slack around his left arm, so he'll be able to survive. Unfortunately, the force of the setback definitely just dislocated his arm.
Ow.
He grits his teeth through the pain, but he doesn't let go. He's not too far away from the airlock now, just about 50 meters. Safety is in sight.
That sounds fun,
Crack.
but all right.
It's pretty far,
Yeah.
but, you know, it's doable. You could run that in a couple seconds.
Well, sure, but you're floating in space.
Yeah, I know. It really sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Calamity
Arg.
has a arg.
Arg.
Calamity, if you copy, we need you back inside and combat ready. We're about to cross the jamming field.
Well, he just dislocated his shoulder. That's nothing.
Whatever.
Just need a wall.
Look, this is
Panel
the future.
2.
You can just slap a tricoder on it, you'll be fine.
Well, yeah, like dislocated shoulders in movies is like one of the most ridiculous things ever.
Yes, panel 2.
Yeah, but it's not great in a
Panel
crisis
2,
situation.
interior paradox bridge. View from the view
God.
screen of Snitch. Panicking, using the console to console with her crew.
Oops.
From this position, neither Thorn nor Eric are fully visible. In fact, it almost looks like Snitch is in charge.
Mm-hmm.
Listen up,
Time
you
to
eight.
shine, Snitch.
We're about to cross the jamming field, so buckle up and get ready to light the biggest fireworks display you've ever seen. Ain't no power in the void can cross the grinners without us swinging back. You hear me?
No power in the verse.
No power in the verse.
Yeah, buckle down and light it up.
Bitches! Panel 3, Interior Shipyard Command Center. The Starbase tech has just put Snitch on the command center's view screen.
I don't know who Tech is.
I think you're time, Preston.
Sir, we're getting a comm signal from the glitch on screen.
Ain't no power in the void can cross the grinners without us swinging back. What? Forward that to Central Intelligence immediately.
Keep going.
So it's pirate, eh? Power down the hollow emitter and activate the deflectors array. Red alert! Get all crews returned to the ship. Time to impact.
At this speed, 20 seconds.
Panel 4, XCU, the commander's eyes widen in horror.
20? What?
Panel 5, XCU, the tech responds, tears streaming down his face.
15.
Page 2223, panel 1.
By the way, I gotta say, I like this is like the first time.
Profile.
This is the first time in one of these spaceship things where I'm actually like, oh, something might happen. So
Yeah.
cool. I'm like, oh, stuff's about to smash into stuff.
Stuff is definitely about to smash into stuff at interplanetary speeds.
Yeah, there you go.
Super extremely extra wide profile. A 5-kilometer wide asteroid with 2 shuttles in the paradox clinging to the safe, quote unquote, and smashes through and through the center of the shipyard. Everything breaks. Insert details of carnage in close-ups. Have fun. Kaboom!
Badoom.
Page 24, exterior of the void. The Paradox floats in the fetal position. Parts of its wings and limbs are broken amidst the wreckage of the shipyard and sea of bodies. One hand clings to the cable attached to one end of the grinner ships. The other is lost. Calamity lost his arm. That's all that's
Ow.
attached.
I know the
The
robot
void
lost
floods
his
with rubble and corpses. And a one-armed man floats in space.
arm. One-armed giant robot.
There you go.
Yes.
Caption: Planet Space Air Seer 5. To be continued.
There we go. Okay. Hey, it was cool. I thought, as I mentioned, I feel, because Star Trek is a difficult genre to, I think, build real tension and, fight scenes and stuff, because you're just so used to everybody lives. By the end of the episode, everyone is exactly back to stasis, stuff like that. But hey, we've got some stuff happening. We've got a collision. We've got an uncertain fate. We've got a guy out there in space. We're doing a little gravity, which I'm a big fan. I like gravity.
Yeah, it was good.
So,
I mean,
yeah.
jeez. Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah. All
Yeah,
right. Black Knight, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, yeah, I like the, I really love the pacing. I like the sense of urgency, and yeah, it definitely has that very, Star Wars feel of like the high action stuff, and I feel like that's been missing a lot in a lot of sci-fi. It seems like a lot lately, because a lot of sci-fis I seem to come across are a lot more slower paced, more into the whole exploration element or something else, maybe political.
Okay.
Thank you.
What?
Come on, people.
I think it's Larry, your turn.
Okay.
You had something blowing up in a 2-page spread. I'm sold.
Yeah, it works.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really good. There's good build up and everything like that. I don't really see any issues or anything like that. I think you've got a solid book. You know where you're going. Go to her.
John, have you sounded off yet?
Well, I like the splash page.
Okay.
The 2-page spread was
Oh,
awesome.
that's true. All right. Constructives. Anyone got some constructives?
Some of the panels were a little wordy.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly an early draft. Could do with a bit of rewrite, but structurally, I don't think there was anything wrong.
No.
No, not really.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah. No, I thought it was pretty good.
I'm assuming that you're intentionally keeping the fate of Calamity a mystery at the end of the issue?
Yeah, no, I'm cliffhangering everything, and also the bad guys are about to invade the Hope Planet. Because
I actually don't remember anything that happened before this issue, so...
No, that got mentioned specifically in the part that we read.
Well, then I missed... If it was in today's pages, I missed it.
There we go. It was the people on the starbase who were like, well, we have to retrofit these ships for this invasion.
But then they just get crashed into, so they got exploded, so there are no threats.
Oh wait,
It's not
what,
crashed,
was that the exposition given when, like, oh my God, we're all gonna die?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I thought that was all part of crashing into this thing that they just crashed into.
Yes,
But while we were there, we dropped a couple of lines that if you were paying attention, you would know. Indicated.
I mean,
Yeah.
I thought the people that were planning the invasion just got exploded.
Yes.
I was a little, yeah, it seemed
Okay,
like
so
that.
if they
Yeah.
got exploded, then there's no tension left. They're all exploded.
Well, except for did anyone survive? We got that one. But yeah, I'm kind of with John though. It does kind of, if we're going with, oh my God, what's going to happen to the planet? Well, we know that the planet is now safe because the bad guys have been dealt with. Possibly the good guys are also dead, but the bad guys have been dealt
Possibly
with.
the good guys are also dead. So I'm like, what happened to the good guy? Is Calamity going to be the one-armed man in space in the next issue?
Which
because,
is bad. Yeah.
Because he's got his arm tethered to a ship that just crashed into something that's like clear rip your arm off in space. So I'm like, this guy's gonna, or maybe he's gonna get a robotic arm. That would be awesome. Like he's gonna come back with a cybernetic
I
arm.
want one of those shots where you're hanging there with an arm on a tether to a spaceship, and then the spaceship just gets exploded, and you're like, oh, never mind.
Right, like on a two-page thread, you
Yeah.
can have like use a force perspective. So you have the explosion, and then you just have this arm that's still tethered all the way to the ship.
It may or may
that's
not
just
be
sitting
actually
there.
attached to a person at the end of the
That's
arm.
not attached to a person. There's just
There
a
you
little
go.
blood drips, just drip,
Oh,
drip, drip, drip.
there we go. In space.
And then in the next issue, he comes back and he's got
Yeah.
this robotic
That
arm
would
that
work
makes him
so
awesome.
well in video.
Can blood drip in
Yeah.
space though?
I mean,
Yeah.
It could float.
sure, why not?
Yeah.
I think it
We've
was
seen Star Trek 6.
Freeze,
Close
though.
enough.
Yeah.
But anyway,
But yeah, all right. So
yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
feel like the planet. That's why I totally kind of missed it, because to me, the people planning the invasion all got exploded. So as far as I'm concerned, the planet's safe. It's only the fate of my heroes that I'm
Okay.
moderately concerned about.
Well, that means there's some editing to be done.
Yeah, I mean, if there's still supposed to be an invasion on this planet, then the people doing the invasion shouldn't be exploded. Or we need to see that they survived, and that, oh, it's nothing, just they get up and brush the dust off the shoulder and say, onward with the planetary invasion.
I mean, I was going for our heroes heroically accidentally kamikaze Pearl Harbor. So I'm feeling
So
like
their
I nailed
kamikaze is
that.
supposed to galvanize the protectorate to invade?
Yeah. So they're going to invade even harder.
Okay,
with
so then
Pearl
what I
Harbor.
would do is I would end with do like a panel or a page where their general is like standing at a podium giving a speech and say, "We will never surrender," or something like that. And
Yeah, that's a
end
good
that way.
idea.
Because if that's what you're going for, then just have a guy giving a speech where he's like, these assholes, they think they, take us, but they're not going to take us, and we're more dedicated than ever, and we are going to do X, Y, and Z, and spread the
Yeah.
glorious fascism to the ends of the universe.
I need to find a page to cut, which is going to be annoying.
I don't know.
Nah, just make 25 pages.
to take the 2-page spread and make it a 1-page spread.
Oh, but I want to have a 2-page spread of something blowing up really hard.
There you
No, the 2-page spread is awesome. Do it on the inside back cover.
I'll just add more pages of
That's
world
extra
building
space.
and have a so I think only Larry has seen the actual print PDF of issue 1 so far. But my filler is little Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy world building stuff, so I can just add more of it to fill it out and just have a bigger issue to make that land if I really need to. So
whatever you got to do.
that's a good idea.
I mean,
And
if
that
you're
does get
really
that point across.
if you're really, really pressed for space, one of the things you could do, because more than likely you're working toward a trade or, a graphic novel anyway, is you could potentially just flip your 2-page spread on the side and do it as 1 page so that you can cram your 2 pages in. And then when you do your trade/graphic novel or however you're going to rebrand it at the end, you'll have more freedom and flexibility with your page counts.
Also, a
And that
good
you can
idea.
then flip it back around.
Um,
If the art is there, you can always do stuff with it.
Yeah, and the aspect ratio is going to work. That's really smart.
Yeah, I mean, you could even do it where if you don't want to have your readers turn the book sideways, you could just turn all the letters so that they're still the same, and then flip them back around when you flip the world around. You got it, but if you do that, you also have to keep in mind that even though you're technically ending on page 24, you're actually ending on page 25. So your next book is going to have to start on page 26. You just got to keep that in mind if you do that. But of course, that all depends on how you want to cut. You got to think about how you want to cut your trade/graphic novel at the end. whether you're going to do a trade or a graphic novel. And you know what I mean when I'm referring to the distinction between the two, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, I know you know what the difference is. I just mean, like, I'm not talking about the same thing, like, the way I envision them. Anyway. But, yeah, as long as you keep that in mind, I think you'll be fine.
Yeah, and I think, honestly, if I do that, I can still just keep it as, like, a very, very nice splash page. And,
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, just have 3 splash pages in a row. Like, things blew up, things are tense, things are going to get worse. Like,
Right.
I don't need much to land that. And yeah, I think that addition would actually really add a lot to the rising tension and give me the tools I need to possibly almost actually get the story ended in 5, even though it's obviously going to be 6 at this point.
Well, there's you could, if you wanted, do issue 5 as an extra long issue.
That's also on my mind, especially since that means I can turn into a trade.
Yeah.
Like a little bit faster and get that done by like the middle of next year for crowdfunding and stuff. So I'm pretty happy with that plan.
I mean, hell, I finished Angel of Darkness, and Angel of Darkness 5 is going to be 40 pages. So
look.
And that's a double size, right?
Well, yeah, when you say that, that means that issue 5 is going to be twice as good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's really just because I don't want to, the way the tension, and this is why I say, you got to be a slave to the story. If the story doesn't, if the story is not going to work, you cut it in half. Don't cut it in half.
Okay.
You know, so if you feel like the way that the tension is rising, you're going to lose that if you cut it in half. Don't.
And so what's the marketing for that? Like, extra long, thrilling conclusion, blah, 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 blah.
Sure.
But a lot of times, like issue 1's and issue 5, or first issues and last issues can be double-sized, Double-sized finale edition, whatever.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But as I said, I try to be a slave to the story. I go with what the story is. If the story says I can cut it here, I'll cut it. If the story says I can't, I won't. That's why Spirit of the Dragon.
We've come a long way from the Russian mob having pointless sex with hookers.
Have we though?
Have we?
Well, now we're a slave to the story.
I haven't read issue 2 of Spirit of the Dragon yet. You still got time.
Yeah.
Oh God.
It is. Oh wait, you weren't here? I think you were here.
I think I might have been here for like an excerpt, but like not for all of it.
Hmm.
Because I think you were presenting that like when I was out of town.
It was like last fall.
Yeah, I took a holiday. Either way,
a holiday,
I'll read it eventually. Presumably,
I'll send it to you.
I get to letter it. I'll still get to read it early.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
If I letter it, I'll technically get to read it first.
Technically, you would, and you'll get to see it first.
I'm down for that. That's exciting.
Yep, great. Just keep your tissues handy.
Wow, Frazetta was born in 28. We're coming up on the 100th year. Frank Frazetta. All right, Larry, tell us about Primal Chaos 5. Primal Chaos 5?
Number 5. Yeah.
What?
Well, there weren't
okay,
very many.
so we just 2 through 4 are done.
Technically, yes.
Okay, fantastic.
I mean, the scripts are done, but
that's all you need. That's all you had to say.
Yeah.
That's all. Okay.
Yeah, we read 4, I think, right around
Are
Christmas
you
time.
happy with 4?
Yeah, I am very happy.
Okay,
with 4.
awesome.
4 is my favorite. So
Viviax made an appearance. That's all that matters.
And she's still not showing up before 4. You're not dropping her in issue 2.
No,
We get no demon titties in issue 2.
no, we get other types of titties in issues.
thought there was
It's
an
all
angel
good,
titty.
man. It's like a
Yeah. Well, wait, no. It was Larry explained to me that his angels do not have titties.
That's right.
So
Then what?
Angel Pack?
What kind of angel? Like, oh my.
I know. I was like,
Technically, they're
what,
biblically accurate.
I bet that's where I was like, you're never gonna cut it in this business, sir.
Like, well, you could, but I kind of feel like, okay, so like I try to, I'm in several different, we'll put it this way, I'm in several different comics discords,
Oh wow.
and
Okay.
they span the spectrum from left, right, and center.
Okay.
And I've noticed that there are two types of comics that seem to do well.
Mhm.
The two, for lack of a better term, woke comics
Yeah.
and titty comics.
Yep.
Nothing else really seems to do well.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know
some
why,
things
but
do.
that's
What
the
do
way it
you
is.
mean by
You
well?
don't know why?
Wait, but what do you find as well?
That's
though?
where I think the audience is. I mean, it's where the audience is. You know, it's like
Oh,
I
audience
tried
reaction.
sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like audience reaction. Like I shared, you know, some of my art in one of the other discords that I'm in, and people were like, "Well, why are you sexualizing that character? And isn't that a little overdone?" And and I'm just like, "Okay, I'm not sharing any of my art there anymore."
Yeah.
But it's like, okay, I mean, that's
Mhm.
fine, and you know, and they have their, you know, comics about, you know, queer characters, and that's all fine and good, and I have no problem with that, and you know, and all that kind of fun stuff. But it just seems like that's, and if you look at Kickstarter, that seems to be the money makers there in Kickstarter.
Mhm.
It seems to be one of those two. And if you're gonna skirt the middle,
All I'm
So-
saying, look, all I can tell you is Larry's angels have no boobs. That's all I can
So,
tell you.
so
okay,
yes, the angels are male, and the demons are female. It's not fucking hard to understand. Okay, like
they got
Uh,
packs. Then do like a
yeah.
shirtless angel thing, like a
Didn't he
Victoria's
do,
Secret
like-
angels. Oh, that'll sell. People
That will
buy
sell.
that. Do like a
That'll
Victoria's
actually
Secret
target both
angels
of the
thing with the
demographics
guys
that
with their,
are,
you know, like
mentioned.
shirtless guys with angel wings. That will so totally sell,
In
dude.
Victoria's Secret clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're getting all the demos.
Exactly. You know,
anyway.
even if you put them in skinny jeans, you know, low cut skinny jeans, you know, 8-packs, angel wings.
Wide shot, 10 black military helicopters fly towards the viewer. 5 are in front of the others. They fire 2 rockets apiece from side-mounted launchers towards the viewer. Shafoom.
Yeah.
Panel 2, wide shot from the side. The rockets speed down towards Samael and Arena, standing on the bank of the river. Panel 3, medium shot from the side. Samael in the foreground looks toward the oncoming rocket. Off panel. Erica looks forward towards him and shouts, and shouts in the background.
Jump! Jump as high as you can!
Page 4, close up from the front. Samael crouches into a jumping position. Page 2, panel 1, wide shot from the side. Samael leaps high into the air over the blast as the shore of the river below explodes in the impact from the rockets. Panel 2, inside the lead helicopter shot from behind, looking towards the explosion. Jin looks over the 2 masked pilots, watching to see if the rockets hit their target. Her sister, Amaterasu Gozen, asks her a question from off panel.
Did we get them?
Whoever Jen is.
Anyone who wants to read it.
Black Knight.
Doubtful. He's like a cockroach.
Close up, Jin quickly looks upward out the front window, clenching her teeth at what she sees. Panel 4, Jin's point of view. Samael falls directly towards their helicopter, his arm blade fully extended, his purple glow cutting through the darkness of the night sky. Panel 5, close up on Jin's mouth. She curses out loud.
Fuck.
Page 3, panel 1, wide shot. Samael slices down Jin and Gozer's helicopter, cutting the main blade and tail off the body of the Krizaft. Panel 2, medium shot, Jin in the foreground, yells towards Goes, and she is Asian, dressed in tight shorts with a sports bra top. See character document for more details.
Yeah.
Nice.
As she grasps...
I want her on a cover, or I'm not backing this issue.
As she grasps a handle on the side of the wall of the helicopter, trying to balance herself.
Out now.
Feed
Page.
my yellow fever.
3 wide shot, looking up from the point of view on the ground. Jen and Goes and jump off the side door of the burning helicopter as it spins in the air behind them, crashing downward. Page 4, panel 1, medium shot point of view looking towards Samael. Samael impacts the shore on the opposite side of the river, kicking up rock and sand around him as the lead helicopter crashes into the water behind him. Very cinematic shot right there. Panel 2, close up. As Jen falls, she notices Samael's position in the corner of her eye. Panel 3, wide shot. Jen and Goes in fall towards the river in the background. Samael crouches on the shore with his back to the river. Jen is aiming her arm-mounted grenade launcher towards him. Jen.
Dodge this asshole.
Page 3, inset close up on the barrel of Jen's mounted grenade launcher as it fires a shell out. Page 4, wide shot. The shell impacts directly behind Samael, blowing him towards the viewer. Page 5, panel 1, wide shot. Jen and Goes and splash into the middle of the river. Panel 2, close up looking down the water. On the surface starts to bubble and steam from the 2 women landed.
Oh, it should be from where the 2 women landed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Panel
cool.
3, wide shot, front view. Jen erupts from the river and her larger transformed self, now being able to stand above the water level. Goes and clings to Jen's back, arm around her neck. Looking over her shoulder, Jen glares towards the viewer, eyes blazing purple.
Who's reading
Good
that?
shot, sister.
There we go.
Thanks. But like I said, he's like a cockroach.
Panel 4, close up. Goes in while still holding onto Jen with her right arm, raises her left arm and taps onto her left ear, activating a hidden earpiece.
All craft from firing perimeter. 3 o'clock over our position.
Page 6, panel 1, wide shot from the side. The remaining 9 helicopters hover in a line above the 2 women in the river and point their front spotlights towards the shore Samael was last seen on. It's a lot of spotlights.
A lot of helicopters for
That's a lot of helicopters, yeah.
There's a lot of helicopters, yeah.
Panel 2, close up from the blast area, close up on the blast area from the grenade blast. A fire has started in the brush along the side on the riverbank. A mounted area of dirt and rock on the other side of the blast crater starts to glow with cracks of purple light. Panel 3, medium shot from the side. Samael rises from the ground to his knees, dirt, burnt branches, and rocks sliding off his back, a dazed expression on his face. His eyes, metal parts burn with purple light. Panel 4, wide shot from the side. All the spotlights from the helicopters focus on Samael, still on his knees. Back turned to the enemy. Jen seen in the water below with Gogozin's back. With Gogozin still on her back, shouts an order to the helicopters. Hi, Cheyenne.
Hello.
Jen. Black Knight.
Rocket. Loose.
Panel 5, medium shot from the side. The helicopters fire another salvo of rocket towards Samael. Page 7, panel 1, close up on Samael, head to torso. The spirit of Arena hugs him from behind, resting her head on his shoulder. She whispers to him in the background, the white lights from the helicopters from a halo around the pair, the fires of the rockets cutting through the white light quickly approach.
Do not fear, this is not the end.
Panel 2, close up. Arena whispers closely in Samael's ear.
You are not alone.
Panel 3, close up on Samuel's face as his eyes go wide, a blue aura surrounding his head from behind. Arena has disappeared. Panel 4, close up. Samuel quickly turns his head to look behind him. Panel 5, wide shot. Samuel flips himself to face the barrage of
Sorry.
rockets
Flips, yeah.
frozen in place a few feet away from him by a blue aura. He exclaims in amazement. A voice answers him off panel from above.
Yes. I'll read Samuel. What in the name of God? And then someone's going to have to read Gatsby. Yeah.
Not quite, chum, but I'm flattered.
Yeah, there we go.
Page 8. Wide shot. Gatsby floats above the line of helicopters in the back. You know, I just
So he's a
want to
Deus
say.
Ex Machina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My daughter, a few years ago, she was really into Leonardo DiCaprio and as well as The Great Gatsby. She really loved the Baz Luhrmann Leonardo DiCaprio movie, and she was very sad at Gatsby's death. And see now, and I told her at the time when she was sad, there was this moment. I said, you know what? I'm gonna take him. I'm gonna put him in my story, so Gatsby will live on. And look at this. He's going everywhere. Gatsby's he's going international now.
Yeah.
So I'll let her know. Wide shot. Gatsby floats above the line of helicopters in the background. He reaches out with both arms towards the line, his blue arms suspending them in time, along with the rockets heading towards Samuel in the foreground. Panel 2, medium shot. Looking down at the two women in the water, they look straight up towards the viewer, confused as to what is happening.
What the fuck is happening?
Panel 3, close up on Gatsby as he waves playfully down to the women.
Sorry, I believe this is a no-fly zone. I'm going to have to remove these.
There we go. Panel 4, close up on Gatsby's hands. He gestures off with his left hand, pointing toward himself. Wide shot. The helicopters and rockets start to be pulled up like a black hole effect into the bubble of blue energy hovering above Gatsby. It's 20 times larger than him. Panel 6, close up on Gatsby's hands as he clenches them in fists, and green energy burst out into the blue aura and up. Page 9, splash page, wide shot. The green burst of energy surrounds the bubble, and everything explodes inside into a raging inferno that lights up like the sun. Samuel watches from the shore, blocking the light from his eyes with his arm in the foreground. The two Titan women in the water below Gatsby do the same. Goggles and still hangs on Jen's back, grasping hold with one hand. Page 10, one panel, medium shot. The ball of fire and metal stream down in a funnel shape, compressing into Gatsby's outstretched right hand. Panel 2, close up. The ball of flame is now the size of his fist. It hovers above his right open palm.
Best save you for later. Might come in handy.
Was Gatsby always this smug, or just people just...
I'm actually okay with Gatsby being this smug because he's also being the badass and he's not giving up.
I know. Because that's the one criticism that I consistently get is, Preston, you're always smug. I'm like, and apparently so are my characters.
Well,
I'm smug as fuck. What do you want?
I think I just like smug Gatsby. Like, yeah,
I think
it just makes sense for
so
his character.
OP.
Yeah.
When you have a character that's just OP, the only way to make them interesting is to make them, jokey and having fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I was on Twitter today. Hey, Spectre, how did your predictions for the lawsuit turn out? Missed it by that much. Anyway. Gatsby. Oh, wait,
Yeah, we got that one, yeah.
Handy.
Panel 3, same view as last panel. Gatsby snaps his fingers on his right hand, and the ball of flame disappears in a flash of green light. I love the green light. Gatsby believed in the green light. Panel 4, a wide shot, point of view from behind, two women looking up. Jen and Gogo's then should curse towards Gatsby as he floats above them, taunting them.
My ladies, you're looking well this evening. Water looks a bit cold, though. Can I offer you a towel?
Sister, rip me apart.
With pleasure.
Medium shot, Gogozin leaps off Jen's back. Panel 6, wide shot, looking down at Gogozin As Gogozin flies screaming towards the viewer in her Titan form, a flash of purple light below her, she doubles in height, her hair becoming long and flowing. She has 2 long horns growing from her forehead. Her arms are double length, and another shorter set of arms grows from her abdomen. Large moth-like wings spring from her back. Her eyes glow hot purple, and her teeth grow long and sharp.
There we go.
Die, wizard!
Die, wizard!
That's page 10.
Die,
Okay.
wizard! Come!
I mean, stuff happened. We had, yeah, exactly. There we go. Green lights mean weed is close. There you go. So we had, yeah, we had a lot of action. So definitely a lot of action. We introduced, we had like an epic Gatsby introduction. We have some cool magic. This stuff had everything. It had angels, it had demons, it had men, it had sexy Asians. I love it. Okay.
I'm sure it had the Terminator.
Did it have the Terminator?
Someone had metal eyes.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Sam, a couple issues back, Samuel got metal replacements for his missing parts. So I think he missed that part.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Danny.
So yeah, the action flowed pretty smoothly. You have a pretty good sense of what the villains want and what they're attacking the hero with, and then Gatsby shows up to save the day for some reason.
Yes.
That was all very efficient.
So as I told Mario when he first presented his script, thanks to my Asian fetish, you basically had me with Gogozin.
There you go.
And some of your panels are very cinematic, which is always cool.
Black
I'm
Knight.
going to agree with John. I'm going to agree with John there when it comes to your panels being very cinematic.
Okay.
I like the visuals they display, especially with the magic and like Gatsby pulling all those helicopters toward the glowing green orb. So I think that's a really cool touch.
Constructive.
I didn't really. I don't remember how. Oh, actually, I don't even know if I was here for issue 4, so I don't
No,
have
I don't
any
think so.
idea what happened at the end of issue 4. But through this, so I'm not really sure if these are like special demon-killing rockets that are being fired at him.
No,
But-
they're just regular rockets. But-
So your first 10 pages have 0 stakes, because I never really felt like he was in any kind of danger from all of these rockets being.
Oh,
thrown at him.
he's very vulnerable to weapons. So that was established in like the first 3 issues. So
Okay, so he's a demon that's vulnerable to rockets.
yes.
Okay.
That was an
Makes
episode of
0
Buffy.
sense,
I'm
but
happy
alrighty.
with that.
What? Sorry, Danny.
The demon being vulnerable to rockets. I've seen that episode of Buffy. I'll buy it.
I don't know what that is.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, okay.
There's an episode
I-
in which there's a demon that is vulnerable to rockets.
All of the demons were
Okay.
vulnerable to weapons in that
Probably
show.
all of the demons. It's the only episode where they have a weapon. That's true.
Yeah.
But yeah, I kind of, I don't know. To me, I didn't really feel a sense of stakes or urgency, and I felt like I was confused with the rockets, and Gatsby showing up to do nothing is a complete Deus Ex Machina, and I feel like it robs our hero of his chance to overcome whatever conflict he's supposed to be overcoming, because I'm kind of lost on that too. So
I was really confused about the ghost woman who's helping our hero out.
I know, because you missed issue 4. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
So aside from that, although this is very cinematic, and I like that a lot, and you should keep all of that art direction, this is the beginning of a new issue. and you haven't established who the protagonists are, who the antagonists are, what they each want, and how that's in conflict. You do actually a pretty good job with the action scenes to establish some of that, but not all of that. And this entire sequence takes about 2 minutes to read. 2.5 if someone stops to really look at the art closely. And so someone is now halfway through your book.
Yep.
So,
Is issue 5 your final issue?
No.
I would suggest sort of reducing this scene to like 7 pages and getting on with some talking for the middle third, so you can establish your story better and set up what's coming next, and you have a bit more room for it. Because that puts you in like a really strong, like, get them with the sexy art, then give them the slightly boring part, then close with something exciting structure.
There you go.
Which gets people coming back. And sort of 6 to 8 is the magic number for, grabbing their eyeballs and making them look at things without overwhelming the issue with action to the point where you can't actually really tell a story. Unless, I know you do the thing where you do a lot of writing that does silent storytelling, and that's a consistent thing that you do. So I'm pretty sure that's largely this project. So if that's on brand more for this project, keep more of it. But I think you can probably cut a little bit of the action, not lose very much, and then have Gatsby show up, and then you've got 3 more pages of who the fuck are you, Gatsby, and dealing with that before you have your second major action beat near the end.
I want to also, and this will depend entirely on your budget, but I kind of want to piggyback off of something I mentioned to Danny, is to think about your end goal and how you want to do, whether you want to do a trade versus a graphic novel. Because I feel like if you want to do a graphic novel, you could...
he's a little late now. He's already put out issue 1, right?
Well, no. What I mean... Okay. So what I mean when I say graphic novel is... A trade is basically you take your 5, 6, 7 issues and you slamp them into one book and you call it a day.
Yes.
Whereas when I think of a graphic novel, I think of you take your entire story as a solid narrative and structure it as a solid narrative. And in a graphic novel, you don't have your quote-unquote issue breaks that you normally have in a trade. It's quite literally the story starts and it runs all the way to the end. So if you want to do a graphic novel type structure, you could cut out some of those big action, explosion, cinematic pieces, as gorgeous as they are, and then reinsert them later into your graphic novel and kind of say, okay, now that the book is done, I'm not doing a trade, I'm doing a graphic novel, and if you get the graphic novel, you get X number extra pages in your graphic novel. Just a thought, as I said, because if you're thinking forward thinking. Because when I write my stuff, I don't write for trades, I write for graphic novels. Eventually my stuff is going to be a graphic novel. So when you pick up one of my books, that's kind of where, that's what I mean. Okay.
All right, constructive Gatsby should find a bunch of weed next to the green light. There you go. And any other constructive notes?
Definitely what's going to happen next issue. So.
No other constructives.
2 gentlemen got all of them.
Okay.
I think.
All right, Black Knight, a.k.a. Yeti, a.k.a. Savage. Tell us about Virtue.
Hey, it's the beginning of the new chapter.
It's like this superhero story I had in my mind for a while, and last chapter we just got into the action scene, so this chapter is full of action, basically.
Can't wait. Who's narrating?
I guess I will.
right.
I like John narrating.
Oh,
less
oh,
than
fine.
Double diss.
I mean, do you really want to narrate, Danny? 'Cause I can let you.
It's fine. I'll let.
Okay. All right, John.
I'll let you.
I think
He just doesn't
I'll
want
let
me
John
doing an
narrate.
Indian
Larry
Isaiah
can
again.
be Duck.
Yeah.
I'm usually like
What?
Herschel or Doc or something. I don't know.
You can. Yeah. You take the Candyman, Danny. So.
Yeah, okay. I'll be the Candyman.
I
there
thought
you
Preston
go.
wanted to be
Hershey's the
Candyman,
I
Candyman.
am
but okay.
always, yes.
Oh, okay. He's the
I am
Candyman.
Herschel.
Okay. Okay.
Page 1, panel
Okay.
1.
Uh,
Are we
Can we
ready
just
or
call
not?
this book the Candyman? That would make me so much happier.
Yeah, I would be better than Herschel.
Candyman.
Yeah. And,
Which is a way
and-
worse name than the Candyman.
And if Herschel becomes the protagonist,
Which he should be.
He should be. Yeah.
He's the most interesting character by far.
Absolutely. Yes.
We've been saying this for months, man.
Go with the candy. All right. Page 1.
Page 1, panel 1. Herschel side.
I mean, yeah, like it's automatically better. Like even the pitch improves. In a world of superheroes, he turns into candy. Like it's
like,
better.
So okay,
Yes. Yes.
I just
I would back the
watched
shit out of
the beginning of the Shaman King remake
Mhm.
on Netflix, and that absolutely like introduces the protagonist pretty much by having the side character, like the oh my god, not assistant, what's the word? The sidekick, meet him, right? Like, yeah, you don't start with the main character. Like, start with Doc, and then meet the Candyman, and the Candyman's already competent. Bam, problem solved. That's like 3 pages to rewrite, I'm sure. Anyways, let's
All right. Narrator.
All right, page 1, panel 1. Herschel sidesteps Isaiah's jet of flame and punches him on the side of his head. Herschel's right arm is made of rock hard candy.
All right. Wait. I'd like to know: is Herschel's right arm the what's punching, or is he punching with his just normal left arm, and his right arm happens to be made out of red rock candy? Your artist is gonna want to know.
Okay, I just assumed that, yeah, it was kind of like just describing what his punching arm was, but I'll be sure to make a note of that.
Okay.
Panel 2, Isaiah falls to the ground, wincing in pain.
There we go.
Ooh.
Everybody loves Candyman. Panel 3.
Panel 3, Hadrian has 4 large tentacles, oh yeah boy, coming out of his shoulders and splurging toward Isaiah on the ground. I'm liking where this story going. Panel
This is not
4,
a John Lamont script.
Isaiah shoves his right hand, unleashing a torrent of red flame. Oh, that's gonna hurt. The flames burn the tentacles and blackens the tips. Panel 5, Hadrian and Herschel back away from the flames. Panel 6, Isaiah gets back on his feet and smiles widely, his body surrounded by an aura of bright orange flames.
Danny, give me Isaiah.
You think you
stand a chance against a champion of God? You sinners will feel the fire of my righteousness.
Page 2, panel 1. Alice slams her giant monster fist. She's fisting Isaiah. Her right arm is massive and has huge claws and blood red fur. Panel 2, Isaiah is sent tumbling across the stone floor. Panel 3, Alice's right arm is yellow and has a slit for a pupil. Her eyes are wolf-like and large fangs protrude out of her mouth.
and we got a caption.
Alice Kensington, superpower, big bad wolf. Alice is able to transform parts or all of her body into a monstrous man-like wolf. This power grants her superhuman capabilities and incredibly powerful senses.
Who's Alice?
Larry, you can be Alice.
Sure.
Go, Larry.
Maybe you should focus on not being sneak attacked instead of giving us a church sermon. Bastard.
Panel 4, Mike Strong comes from behind with a powerful flying kick to Alice's unchanged left shoulder. causing her to stagger forward.
Try taking your own advice first.
Panel 5, Mike leaps away from Alice and tries to jump click Herschel's upper torso. Herschel uses both his arms to block the blow, now transformed into red and blue rock candy. Panel 5, Mike performs a really quick 360-degree sweep kick that knocks Herschel off his feet and makes him cartwheel in the air.
Hell yeah.
Page 3, panel 1. Herschel is still off his feet as Mike strikes Herschel in the chest with his right palm. Panel 2, Herschel slams into the wall with a look of pain on his face. Wham! Panel 3, Mike is in a fighting stance and his body emits a bright golden yellow aura.
I'm all fired up.
Caption.
I'm glad you're having a moment, Cheyenne. There you go. Don't let us interrupt.
Mike Strong, superpower, warrior spirit. Mike can tap into the power of a mystical energy known as the warrior spirit. This energy grants him enhanced physical abilities and allows him to access knowledge of every fighting style known to man and master them. He can even communicate with the spirits of the greatest warriors throughout history through meditation. Panel 4, Duck puts up his fists and has a bead of sweat running down the side of his face.
It can't just hang back and do nothing. I need to get to go on the attack.
Panel 5, Duck charges at Mike with his fist drawn back. His right fist is surrounded by a powerful current of air.
Of course not.
I've got to force him into retreat so we can regroup.
Panel 6, Duck jabs out his fist at Mike's chest and is mere inches from contact. Page 4, panel 1, Mike swipes away Duck's punch at the last second and diverts the powerful blast of air from the attack.
Too slow.
Panel 2, Mike lands a massive amount of punches on Duck's side. His arms are a blur, moving at insane speeds. Panel 3, Duck has the wind knocked it out of him, and his face full of shock and pain as he gasps out from the impact. Gasp! Panel 4, Mike jump kicks Duck in the chest. Panel 5, Duck flies through the air and lands hard on the ground. Panel 6, Mike puts his fists into the palm of his other hand and excitedly grins.
Heavyweight boxing mixed with Shotokan karate and dragon-style kung fu. Quite a great combination, wouldn't you say?
Page 5, panel 1, Mike backflips away from Hardigan's incoming tentacles. Panel 2, the massive tentacles comes out of the right side of Hardigan's upper torso.
I think you'll find my offenses much, much better.
Panel 3, 3 of Hardigan's tentacles wrap around Mike's lower leg. Ooh. Panel 4, the tentacles spin Mike around like a lasso. Yep, I know where this is going. Panel 5, the tentacles
not
fling
a John Lamont
Mike
spread.
into the wall. Panel 6, Isaiah unleashes a torrent of flames towards Hardigan.
Burn, sinner.
Panel 7, Duck shoots out a powerful blast of air and blows the flames away from Hardigan.
If we do tentacle porn, it's only because the story requires it.
And I keep saying that guy's name wrong. I gotta keep that in mind. Panel 1, Duck shoots another blast of air to knock Isaiah off his feet. Panel 2, Alice leaps at Isaiah. Both of her arms are now transformed and have massive claws. Panel 3, Alice is swarmed by a legion of black bats with glowing red eyes. Panel 4, Agatha Blackwood stands beside a black cat as it spews out a torrent of bats from its mouth. She is holding a black leather spellbook with a black sigil on it, the magic sigil on it. Panel 5, Alice backs away from Isaiah, covering her face from the hailstorm of bats. Panel 6, Agatha is holding her book at chest level and is open. She is smiling mischievously. As much as I find this fundamentalism super annoying, I have unfortunately have to help him in order to defeat you four. Caption, Agatha Blackwood, superpower, witchcraft. Agatha is able to cast spells and curses through rituals and incantations she has written down in her spellbook. She also has a magical spirit known as a familiar that takes the form of a black cat and aids her in her magic spells.
Yes, Cheyenne. A cat.
Page 7, panel 1. A hailstorm of bats swarm through the passageway. Panel 2, Duck is engulfed in bats. Panel 3, Duck crosses his arms to shield his face and grits his teeth.
I think this is a Larry line. You're
Where
Duck,
are we
right?
here? Oh, sorry. I have to clear this.
Panel 4, Duck sends out a powerful blast of pressurized air from his right fist. The blast blows away a ton of bats. Panel 5, Agatha and her familiar are knocked back from the blast of air. Panel 6, the bats in the air and on the ground start turning into gray dust.
Oh, sad bats.
No, the bats.
Page 8, yeah, just don't tell FEMA. Not FEMA, PETA. Page 8, panel 1, Alice comes up behind Duck to talk in his ear.
We need to find a wider space to fight. We have to retreat now.
Panel 2, Duck nods.
Got it.
Panel 3, Duck turns and runs. Panel 4, Hadrian, I think I did it right that time. Hadrian slams his fist into the ground. Panel 5, a wall of tentacles rises up out of the ground. Ooh,
That's
they're
a
rising.
cool image.
Panel 6, the massive tentacles seal off the passageway behind them. Page 9, panel 1, Duck looks at the wall of tentacles wide-eyed.
Amazing.
Oh, he's gonna like the tentacles. Panel 2,
Looks like he already
Adrian
likes
looks back at Duck as he is running away from the walls.
Adrian.
That wall won't stop that firebrand for very long. You better hurry up.
Panel 3, Duck turns away from the walls and begins to smoke.
Right.
Panel 4, Duck follows his teammates into a courtyard. The courtyard has stone statues and old grass with a few wooden benches for sitting.
Panel 5.
Panel 5, Alice gives them a serious look.
We'll fight right here. This place will allow us more space to move. But first we're going to ambush them.
Panel 6, Herschel grins with his arms crossed.
I like fun. See, I'm Herschel. It's my first damn line. I like a fun game of cat and mouse. Yeah, not enough candy guy. There you go.
Yeah,
Page
need
10,
more
panel
green.
1! Isaiah storms into the courtyard, his body alight with flames, his furious face looking around.
You think you sinners can run from my judgment? You shall taste God's wrath.
Panel 2, Herschel grins and has a bead of sweat running down his face.
Someone's extra fiery today.
Panel 3, Isaiah launches at Herschel in a ball of flames. Grrr! Panel 4, Duck unleashes a massive blast of air that knocks Isaiah away. Panel 5, Isaiah crashes onto the ground hard. Panel 6, Alexandra throws a spear in Duck's direction, and Duck dodges. Duck dodgers?
There you go.
Panel 7, Alexandra stands tall with her Athenian shield.
You're now going to have to face me. Prepare for defeat. Defeat. All right. So, action-packed pages. Yeah. That was a ton of stuff going on. We did get a little bit of candy action. I wanted more, but I'm going to wait till Constructives to really get on you for not enough Herschel. We had tentacle stuff. We had Jesus stuff. We had what else did we? I don't know. We had stuff. We had a whole bunch
Lots of stuff.
Lots of stuff.
Of action. This is like, you know, Avengers, like superhero fight battle kind of stuff. It was pretty cool.
It was really cool. This is a great jumping on point for this project, I think. Assuming that these sorts of fights and stuff are what it's about. You're giving people what they're buying, presumably. And a lot of the action is really cool.
You know what? I've been wondering that myself. This is how many issues we've been going. I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe people lick him and they get buffs.
Maybe.
He's a cleric type.
Yeah. Larry.
That's right.
Okay.
After, you know, Black Knight does his Virtue Kickstarter and all of that, I will do a version of his story, and all of your questions will be answered.
That will be a John Lamont story.
Have you given positives?
Who
All
are you
right,
talking to?
Larry.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You were breaking up,
Sorry.
or I was.
That's
Yeah,
okay.
he broke up.
Yeah. It's good action in this book, and it's nice to see the plot moving around instead of them just sort of sitting around and going like, yeah, we're gonna get into the arena and fight. So you're definitely improving on that. So there's really good pacing in this issue. So that's a plus.
I mean, look, I liked all the fighting. I wanted more Candy Person.
He just wanted to read the
You'll
lines.
Yeah.
You'll get more of him next chapter.
Okay. All right. Danny, I'm sure you got some constructors.
Okay, I definitely have a couple of constructives. The first is, if you haven't drawn the first 6 chapters of your book yet, don't start here. Because this is a good introduction to characters and what they do and how they operate with each other, and is nice and dynamic, and it feels Hero Aka. So if you're going for Hero Aka, and you're clearly going for Hero Aka, this is a good place to be. The other constructive is, when was the last time you read a shonen manga or watched a shonen anime? Because the dialogue's all wrong. Like, there's a ton of telling instead of showing with the captions that I don't like. Because you should have characters screaming out the names of their attacks, which should be evocative enough to establish what they can do. That's sort of how this genre tends to go. And it's deeply vexing that you only introduce the antagonists and not the 3 protagonists with these captions. So it was very inconsistent, and also was not a meaningful opportunity to develop the characters. It was just narration.
There you go.
So if I can build on that a little bit, one of the things that, and I think Danny had a good suggestion, is that this should be the first 10 pages of chapter 1. This should be where your story starts. Because I know the background of all of these characters, and that they're all basically in school and they're all learning how to be superheroes. I felt like there were no stakes, and there was very little danger or conflict between the characters, because they're basically playing a game. You know, they're playing football and they're on the opposite sides. And sure, they're, playing for opposite sides, and, they want to win, but in the grand scheme of things, there are no stakes. If one side wins or loses, it doesn't really matter. It's just, oh, you lost the game, and life moves on as happy-go-lucky and la-di-da as before. Now, if this is the first 10 pages and we don't know any of these characters and this is what's going on, then there's all kinds of stakes because we don't know what's going on. We have teenage superheroes trying to kill each other as far as we know. So now we've got tension and drama. We're learning these characters and we're learning everything about them. And if you do this big epic fight scene and it goes on for, the first half or first 2/3 of your first issue, and then it ends and everybody's shaking hands, and then they all go back to the academy for, gifted youngsters. That's a pretty decent, like,
It's a great chapter
open-ended,
one.
badass issue 1 right there. Like, oh, we've got these amazing teenagers with these amazing superpowers, and they're all in school together, and
So
I think
I
that
think the constructive note here is these pages are pretty good. Destroy everything that came before.
it's
And incidentally, this lets you rewrite the story so it's about the Candyman, but that's not why we're saying that.
We're at it.
No.
'Cause
It's
this
just
is the action that you've been promising the whole time.
Well, that's the
Right.
interesting thing is because I guess I mean, when you look at some of the shonen stuff, they kind of start out kind of like where the beginning is kind of very slow, and then the action comes in later for a lot of them.
Depends on the project, but yeah. But I mean, the characters are also like telling you what's at stake. I need to defeat you so I can become the Hokage. I will just kill you because you're in my way and I'm a dick. Like, no one's saying stuff like that.
right.
Right.
There's no real villain, and the closest thing that you could possibly do is like Harry Potter, and it's a Quidditch match. But when Harry first went to his first Quidditch game as a player, he and the other kid, who I'm blanking on his name, the Slytherin kid, they already had animosity toward each other. So they had an off-field animosity, which then raised the stakes of the game they were playing on the field. And I just don't see that, because these characters in the last 6 chapters have had no real off-field animosity. So because they have no off-field animosity, you don't really have any drama or tension in this game. None of
Just
these
a quick
characters are going
reminder
to
of Harry
actually.
Potter, even in Volume 1, Harry Potter is on the run. The Dark Lord is back and wants to kill him. So, like, this magic school, like, he needs to learn this stuff or he might die. Like, those are the stakes.
Right, I know. And
What are
again,
the
that's
stakes?
that's stakes in a grand level. I'm just talking about the game itself is kind
So
of
you
where I
didn't,
would focus on.
Yeah.
And the game itself, like the game of Quidditch, it's just a game. There's those stakes in the game come from Harry versus the Slytherin guy because they had off-field drama, and because they were rivals off the field, the rivalry on the field raised the stakes of the game. And because we haven't established any off-field rivalry between these characters, the game has no stakes.
Draco Malfoy. Incidentally.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Draco
So you,
Malfoy.
But
So you didn't
know.
So you didn't get that with Isaiah, because Isaiah's kind of the one who's like really out there to like punish people.
no, I
He's a
get it.
dick. That's about it. I mean,
Yeah,
like
he's
it's
just
not a
dick.
Harry Draco rivalry thing. Like,
Well, I mean, we had that in the other issues.
Like, doesn't Isaiah just hate everybody?
There
'cause they're
there
not
has been a
talking
fair
enough?
amount of backscreen snarking.
Yeah.
I mean,
I guess
They were-
I never got the feeling that Isaiah was actually going to kill anybody. I don't know. It just seems
either.
a little.
I gotta say that.
I'm with
yeah.
John.
And everybody else that's on him, why are they there? Like Draco, he had his minions, and they were all on his side, and so it was never just him. And anyway,
man.
I think I've made my point.
Okay.
Burn 1 through 6. Start with 7. This is
Yeah.
awesome.
Okay, yeah, everyone's spoken. So, Yeti,
Word.
Savage, Black Knight, go and start deleting files and burning pages, and open your story here, and focus on more
Give us
candy.
more Candyman.
Give us more candy, man.
Give us so much more Candyman.
Yeah,
It is difficult to explain.
yeah. Like
How about with
if you look at
I
the
like
chat,
I like to think
look,
that like
if you look at the chat, everyone wants to know. Is Candyman, so that's all
See, I'm
anyone
like-
cares
I'm kinda
about.
I'm kind of like this is like since he's like the character's best friend, like him not being the main character means I have much more material to save for him, and he'll come in more and
Okay,
stuff.
fair enough.
So sometimes
Okay.
you make the side character the main character, people hate him, like Planet
Yeah.
Sheen and stuff.
No, dude. Here's what you do. Okay, the Candyman is the main character. He wants something. He wants to be the best superhero in the world, but no one respects him because all he does is turn into candy. Bam, inherent drama. Then Duck shows up. I can fart real good and just blow wind.
There you go.
You don't know shit about superheroes. As the Candyman, I'm going to explain to you how this world works. You have him still explain to Duck what's going on. Hey, new kid, I think you're cool. You respect me.
And
Awesome.
I gotta,
Let's be
yeah.
friends. He explains the world to Duck the same way you were doing before, but he's still the main character. And then you have a really good plot and an excuse to explain your world.
And it's a really interesting it's an interesting superpower combination to have Candyman and Fartman like together, you know, like just a guy whose powers
Farts a lot.
Yeah,
it's like
Sir
when I was
farts a lot, yeah.
conceptualizing,
I am Sir
when I
Farts
was
a lot.
One
conceptualizing
guy
Duck's
turns into
powers
candy,
and
the
stuff.
other one passes wind. That's a comedy duo right
there you go.
See, when I was conceptualizing Duck's powers, what I was basically just going for was essentially like, think of like Aang from Avatar if he had all of those Shonen Jump power boost tropes and stuff.
Yeah.
So you get something wacky and stuff,
Yeah. He's not the best
now,
friend,
you
he's
need to
the
go
MC.
for a smart hero, and that needs to be the Candyman.
Yeah. All I'm going to say is Guinevere was once a side character, but not anymore. So.
Yeah.
True that.
All right. Any other notes? Okay. Well, there you go. Go forth. Do great things. Next week, I should have a script. Other people I'm working with have noticed that the things I do tend to receive funding and stuff, and they go, "Oh wow, that's good. I should probably do that." So the guy who's writing my modules for 5th edition D&D is like, "Hey, I'm working on a clone of Shadowrun, and I think it would be cool if I had a cyberpunk comic." I'm like, I can do that. So next week there'll be some stuff. Yeah.
I mean, how do you do you have any ideas of how to like make it kind of different?
Yeah. Next week you'll see.
Okay.
So can you come back next week? You're going to see some stuff.
This is very exciting.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Another run.
Yeah. Anyway. All right. So next week, everyone.
Yeah.
We'll see you then.
Okay.
Take care.
See ya.
Later.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thanks for the critiques.